11:30 p.m. March 30, 2024. The Garda World facility sits in industrial Silmar, like an impregnable fortress. It is a monolithic structure of concrete and steel, surrounded by razor wire that glints menacingly under the harsh sodium lights. Electronic eyes sweep the perimeter, watching for any intrusion. Cameras sweep the fence line in methodical, slow arcs. Motion detectors silently scan the long, empty corridors, their invisible beams creating a complex, overlapping web of protection. Inside this highly guarded sanctuary, $30 million in cold, hard cash awaits. The money is organized on pallets, stacked like colossal building blocks of greed. Weighing down the very floor of the massive vault, suddenly, the burglar alarm screams, tearing through the quiet Saturday night silence. It pierces the air with a sustained, chilling shriek, like a banshee's mournful wail echoing across the deserted industrial park at the LAPD dispatch. The operator barely glances at the incoming alert. It is dismissed as just another false alarm from the same warehouse. The facility that cries wolf weekly, notorious for its overly sensitive security system, they mark it down as a routine malfunction. But high above, on a neighboring rooftop, the scene is anything but routine. 6 silent figures, clad entirely in black tactical gear, watch the facility intently through military-grade night vision scopes. The whole facility glows with an eerie, phosphorescent green in their enhanced vision. Every single detail is razor-sharp. Every potential weakness is brutally exposed. They have been studying this building for an obsessive number of months. Their preparation was exhaustive. They mapped every possible camera angle. They identified every subtle blind spot. They cataloged every minute flaw in what should have been an absolutely impenetrable security system. The team leader silently adjusts the focus on his scope, his attention locked onto the chosen roof access point, an almost invisible vulnerability they had identified weeks ago. "This is it," he whispers, the sound barely audible into his throat mic. Final confirmation. Everyone in position. Crisp, concise responses crackle immediately through encrypted channels. Overwatch ready. Entry team standing by. Extraction vehicles deployed. They move now, not as individuals, but with the terrifying, synchronized precision of a Swiss watch. Each man knows his specific, vital role. Each step, each movement, has been rehearsed countless times until it has become pure, unquestioning muscle memory. 4 a.m. Easter Sunday. The meticulously planned assault begins. The lead man produces a plasma torch. This is no ordinary tool, but industrial-grade equipment designed to cut through hardened steel like it was soft butter. He ignites the device, and a brilliant blue-white fire erupts violently from the tip. Sparks cascade down into the darkness below, raining like deadly, controlled fireworks. The metal quickly begins to glow a vibrant cherry red. Then, almost instantly, it turns white-hot as the torch carves a perfect, flawless circle, exactly 3 feet in diameter. The cut is surgical, precise, measured to the millimeter. They had calculated the exact size needed for a human to pass through, while critically avoiding the structural supports that might have triggered the building's vibration sensors. The circular roof section falls inward with a muffled thud, landing squarely on thick foam padding they had placed hours earlier. The foam swallows any sound that might alert the internal security systems. One by one, the team members rappel down into the cavernous warehouse. Black ropes disappear silently into the green-tinted darkness below. Their descent is choreographed like a dark, silent ballet of crime. Their night vision goggles transform the massive, cavernous space into an alien, strangely beautiful landscape. The facility's interior stretches before them like a cathedral of capitalism, a massive, industrial warehouse space reaching high up into the deep shadows. Stacks of money are organized in perfect geometric rows, creating long, narrow corridors between the pallets. Each pallet contains more cash than most people will ever see in an entire lifetime. They hit the ground and immediately adopt a tactical formation, moving through the maze of immense wealth with the fluidity of mercury flowing downhill. The warehouse security system presents an invisible, complex obstacle course. Motion detectors sweep left to right in predictable, rhythmic patterns. Infrared beams cross the corridors at precise, measured intervals. Pressure plates are hidden beneath seemingly innocent floor tiles, waiting to betray an unwary step. But the team has studied this system for months, memorizing every detail. They know every sweep pattern. They know every timing sequence. They know every minuscule gap in the coverage. The point man signals with subtle hand gestures. Communications learned from elite military training. Motions sweep in 3, 2, 1. They freeze instantly, like perfectly sculpted statues. as the invisible beams pass overhead. Then, they flow forward again through the fleeting gap. Their path winds narrowly between towering stacks of bundled cash. Each pallet is tightly wrapped in industrial plastic and marked with specific codes that identify clients. The businesses across Southern California who entrusted GardaWorld to protect their critical deposits. Outside, Patrol Unit 12 Alpha 47 cruises slowly down San Fernando Road. Officer Martinez sips hot coffee from a thermos, casually talking to his partner about his Easter plans with his family. Quiet night, he remarks, glancing up at the silent, dark industrial buildings that line the street. Everyone's home with their families. He has absolutely no idea that 6 stories above his patrol route, history is actively being made. He is completely unaware that the biggest heist in Los Angeles history is unfolding in real time, while he discusses holiday ham recipes with his partner. Inside the warehouse, the team finally reaches the vault. The massive door looms before them, a silent, intimidating presence. It is 3 feet of hardened, reinforced steel, embedded with electronic locks that connect to security systems designed by engineers with a deep-seated sense of paranoia. This is the kind of barrier that should stop armies, let alone a small team of thieves. But the tech specialist has come fully prepared for this final challenge. He pulls out a device that looks strikingly like something lifted directly from a science fiction movie. It has sleek black metal housing, filled with humming quantum processors and military-grade hacking software. The device itself costs more than most luxury houses and required months to quietly acquire. Through dark channels that don't officially exist in the light of day, he connects the interface cables to the vault's main control panel, and the device immediately comes alive. Streams of complex code flow across his screen like digital waterfalls, green numbers cascading in dizzying patterns. It would be a beautiful sight if the purpose behind it wasn't so terrifying. The hack begins. Layers of advanced encryption peel away, one after the other, like onion skin, slowly revealing the vault's electronic nervous system. Security protocols, designed and promised to be unbreakable, crumble under the calculated assault from algorithms that exist only in the shadows of cyberspace. First layer down, he whispers triumphantly, accessing secondary protocols. The vault's formidable locking mechanism consists of 17 separate, redundant systems. Each is designed to back up all the others. Massive mechanical bolts, electronic circuits, biometric scanners, all working in perfect, complex harmony to create what should be the definition of perfect security. But perfect security assumes your attackers don't have access to the very same cutting-edge technology that created it in the first place. Tertiary systems bypassed, moving to final authentication. The last, most critical barrier falls with an almost musical chime. The electronic locks disengage in a smooth, precise sequence. 17 separate mechanisms simultaneously release their powerful grip on $30 million in cash. The massive, heavy door swings silently open on its custom hinges, revealing the coveted prize. $30 million is stacked floor to ceiling within the vault's bright interior. Bundles are wrapped tightly in plastic bands, meticulously organized by denomination. Hundreds, twenties, tens, the physical, overwhelming manifestation of wealth that most people only ever dream about. The sight stops them all for a collective, fleeting moment. Even these professional criminals can be momentarily awed by this astronomical amount of money, concentrated in one single, glowing place. The vault glows with a surreal green light in their night vision, looking exactly like an alien treasure chamber. Holy shit, someone breathes into the sudden, thick calm. Stay focused. The team leader snaps immediately. We have 7 minutes before the next patrol sweep. They work with a mechanical, flawless precision born from months of exhaustive rehearsal. They become a human conveyor belt, silently passing bundles from the vault to military-grade backpacks. The loaded backpacks are then placed onto wheeled carts, specifically designed to handle the extreme weight. The money flows out like water. Each bundle is passed hand to hand with the shocking efficiency of an assembly line. $30 million is disappearing into their containers faster than seems humanly possible. 6 a.m. Police respond to the 4th alarm in 18 hours. 2 units roll up to the facility with the weary, familiar resignation of officers who have answered far too many false calls from this location. Inside, the thieves instantly freeze. They can hear the footsteps outside, the doors slamming, the radios crackling with mundane conversations about coffee and overtime. Probable false alarm crackles over the police radio. Checking perimeter now. The officers walk the fence line slowly, shining powerful flashlights through the loading dock windows. They peer into the deep shadows that hide absolutely nothing suspicious. They follow protocol, but their protocol assumes ordinary, panic-stricken criminals, not professionals who deeply understand that the best place to hide is in plain sight. Under the cloak of a known false alarm. All clear dispatch. Marking this one routine. The patrol vehicles disappear back into the night, leaving behind 6 hardened criminals who just held their breath through the most dangerous 90 seconds of their lives. They immediately resume loading. Faster now, adrenaline overriding their caution. $30 million represents more than just money. It represents absolute freedom. It represents silent power. It represents the ability to disappear forever and start new lives anywhere in the world they choose. The final bundles go into the last container. 600 pounds of stolen cash is efficiently distributed among 6 highly skilled professionals who just pulled off something that everyone, everywhere, said shouldn't be possible. They move toward their pre-planned exit point, a hole quietly cut through the sidewall, perfectly concealed behind a row of large industrial air conditioning units that mask the damage from any casual observation. One by one, they slip through the small opening, disappearing into the cold Los Angeles dawn like ghosts returning to whatever dimension spawned them. The getaway unfolds with the brutal, clockwork efficiency of a military operation. It is choreographed with the astonishing precision of a space launch. 3 vehicles are positioned at strategic points across the city, black SUVs that seamlessly blend into the urban camouflage. Their license plates are rotated every 6 hours to avoid tracking. The drivers are specialists who have memorized every backstreet, every shortcut, and every camera location in a 50-mile radius. The money splits 6 ways. Each team takes a different, predetermined route. They stick to surface streets that wind silently through sleeping neighborhoods, actively avoiding the major freeways where automated systems relentlessly record every single license plate. Vehicle 1 heads west toward the ocean, using surface streets through Santa Monica. Vehicle 2 goes east through downtown, taking full advantage of the Sunday morning emptiness. Vehicle 3 disappears north into the sprawling valley. Each is following routes designed specifically to avoid any form of detection. By sunrise, they have completely vanished into the city's 8 million people, leaving behind only empty pallets and the biggest mystery in LAPD history. Monday, April 1st, the first Garda World employee arrives at the facility with her usual Monday morning coffee, expecting another routine day of processing cash for businesses across Southern California. She badges through the main entrance, walks through the warehouse, past the rows of pallets that should be absolutely full of money, but something feels fundamentally wrong. The usual, oppressive weight of wealth seems diminished. The air lighter. She approaches the vault area and stops dead. The massive door stands wide open. Protocol strictly dictates that the vault should be sealed at all times, opened only by authorized personnel during specific hours under the strictest supervision. She steps inside, and her world utterly collapses. The vault is completely empty. Every single pallet is bare. The protective wrapping is scattered across the floor like confetti after a celebration that cost $30 million. Her coffee cup slips from her nerveless fingers, shattering violently on the concrete floor. The sound echoing through an emptiness that used to hold enough money to buy a small country. Her scream pierces the quiet morning silence, bringing security guards running, but there is nothing left to secure. Within minutes, federal agents swarm the facility. FBI crime scene technicians meticulously analyze every surface, every potential fingerprint, every microscopic piece of evidence that might lead them to the crew who pulled off the impossible. They find a level of precision that borders on art. The roof hole was cut with surgical accuracy, its dimensions calculated perfectly to allow human passage while avoiding structural damage. The sidewall breach required industrial equipment, operated by someone who fundamentally understood construction engineering. The vault was opened without any damage to the complex locking mechanisms, strongly suggesting either inside knowledge that shouldn't exist, or technology that represents a quantum leap in criminal capability. Aerial drones map the crime scene, revealing the thieves' exact path through the facility like a ghost trail through security systems, designed to stop anyone. Investigators study surveillance footage from neighboring businesses, tracking vehicle movements in the hours before and after the heist. Black SUVs appear and disappear repeatedly in camera blind spots, positioned too perfectly to be mere coincidence. The plan was executed to precisely to be the work of amateurs. The digital forensics reveal sophisticated electronic interference during the critical hours, Wi-Fi jamming that completely blocked all security communications, cellular disruption that created a perfect bubble of silence around the facility. Someone had brought military-grade electronic warfare equipment to a simple cash heist. Meanwhile, across the city, the crew faces the most dangerous, complex part of their entire operation: successfully laundering $30 million in stolen cash. Safe houses are scattered throughout Los Angeles, each containing carefully managed portions of the take. Money counting machines process bundles faster than human hands could ever manage. They understand they have only weeks, maybe months, before federal task forces make the city too hot to operate. But $30 million opens incredible doors. It creates essential opportunities. It buys silence from people who specialize in cleaning dirty money. The cash flows into multiple complex channels. Some disappears into high-end real estate transactions. Some is invested in legitimate businesses that can absorb large cash infusions without triggering federal reporting requirements. Other portions vanish into offshore banking systems, cryptocurrency exchanges, and precious metals dealers. Anything that converts stolen, marked bills into completely untraceable assets. The money laundering operation rivals the heist itself in its staggering complexity. Shell companies are set up in Delaware. Banks are established in the Cayman Islands. Cryptocurrency wallets exist only in the shadows of cyberspace. They're not just spending the money, they are actively erasing its criminal origins, transforming stolen cash into legitimate wealth through a financial alchemy that would truly impress Wall Street. The FBI investigation grows exponentially. Special Agent Davis leads a task force that eventually includes 200 agents, specialists in financial crime, electronic surveillance, and behavioral analysis. They interview thousands of people: Garda World employees, security contractors, anyone with access to the facility or knowledge of its complex operations. The interviews begin to reveal Garda World's troubled, secretive history: missing money that should have triggered federal investigations years ago, employees who routinely ignored security protocols, managers who moved funds around to cover shortfalls. Brian Newell, a former branch manager, tells agents about orders to transport coins from Connecticut to Massachusetts to cover up missing money before bank audits. He explains they were robbing Peter to pay Paul. Company executives knew $9 million was missing as early as 2014, but chose concealment over correction, unwittingly creating the perfect environment for a perfect crime. Polygraph tests reveal deep deception. Financial audits uncover numerous suspicious transactions. Surveillance footage shows employees with privileged access acting nervous during specific time periods. But the crew planned for the internal investigation, too. They insulated themselves. They created layers of separation between the detailed planning and the flawless execution. Retired Detective Murphy studies the overwhelming evidence and tells task force members exactly what they already strongly suspect. This has inside job written all over it. You don't pull something this sophisticated off from the outside. But proving inside help requires finding someone willing to betray $30 million, someone willing to risk their life testifying against people who just demonstrated they can do the impossible. Weeks turn into months. The investigation spreads across multiple states. It follows money trails that frustratingly lead to dead ends. Agents interview suspects who immediately lawyer up before answering a single question. The crew has scattered like dandelion seeds in the wind. Some are disappearing into cash economies where transactions leave no digital footprints. Others are fleeing to countries with banking secrecy laws and weak extradition treaties. All of them are silently living off the biggest criminal payday in the city's history. But $30 million creates its own unique, dangerous problems. That much cash generates immense heat. It instantly attracts attention from people who can smell the money. It requires a sophisticated, expensive infrastructure to remain hidden. Someone will eventually make a mistake. They'll buy something too expensive. They'll drive a car too nice. They'll live a visible lifestyle that doesn't match their supposed income. Someone will talk to the wrong person. They'll trust the wrong connection. They'll make the wrong deal with someone who is secretly working for the FBI. The investigation continues relentlessly. Federal agents follow leads that evaporate as quickly as they appear. They analyze financial records that frustratingly reveal nothing. They interview informants who genuinely know nothing. But time has a way of unraveling even the most perfect crimes. Time breeds betrayal. Time creates paranoia. These are the human elements that ultimately destroy criminal conspiracies, no matter how well planned they are. Somewhere in Los Angeles, or scattered across multiple continents, the Easter Sunday crew is slowly learning that pulling off the perfect heist was only half the challenge. staying free with $30 million in stolen cash, while federal agents hunt them with unlimited resources and relentless focus. That's where legends either become myths or get destroyed by their own astounding success. The vault remains empty, the money remains missing, and the perfect crime remains. For now, perfect. But perfect crimes exist in a delicate, easily broken balance. One mistake, one moment of carelessness, one person who decides $30 million isn't enough to stay quiet forever. Until then, the Easter Sunday heist stands as powerful proof that with enough planning, enough inside knowledge, and enough sophisticated execution, even the most secure facilities can be breached. The crew beat the system. They outfoxed the FBI, and they disappeared into criminal legend. But legends have a way of attracting the absolute wrong kind of attention. And $30 million is a very large target for anyone desperate enough, or greedy enough, to try taking it from people who already proved they'll do anything for money. The hunt continues.